Ah, you know what review it's time for? Daredevil. I've been waiting to do this one. So, Daredevil episodes 1 and 2. I'm just going to start off. I love this show. This is everything I've wanted the MCU to do in years. I mean, we waited 7 years for this Daredevil show. Since it left Netflix, 6.5 years. That's about the time that we had Endgame, we had Infinity War, we had Endgame, and then the MCU took a nosedive, and then it's been up and down, roller coaster up and down ever since. I think 2025 might be the year they might start getting back on track. We had Captain America, Brave New World, which I liked, and now we have Daredevil Born Again. And this show is perfection. It's everything I wanted it to be. It's dark, it's gritty, it's real, it's raw, it's visceral, it's brutal, it's violent, dramatic, the acting is good, the story is good, it's wrote great. They do something that I kind of had a theory that it was going to happen, but they do something and they start off with a bang and they go there and they don't stop and it just keeps going and they don't back down. So great. I was so happy with what they gave us on the first 2 episodes. I can't wait to see how it's going to go going forward, but Charlie Cox was great as Daredevil, and Matt. He does things that we never saw in the Netflix show that I wanted to see. If you've seen my trailer reaction, you know that I said there's one thing I wanted to see. I wanted to see him swinging the clubs, and I wanted to see him swinging off buildings with the clubs. We see both of those very early in the first episode. That's about all I can say. The only critique I really had, somebody else actually pointed this out to me, was the only critique I've really seen. It did move a little slow. After it started off with a bang, it kind of backed off and moved a little slow, the first episode and 2. Picked up more at the end of episode 2. But I think it was needed to move slow to really progress the story and the characters, explain where everything's at, and set everything up. The only critique, and I kind of have 2 of them, they're not even really critiques or complaints, just kind of things I noticed. The first being, and this was the one that was pointed out to me by somebody else, Hell's Kitchen seems too clean. It seems too nice compared to the Hell's Kitchen that we're used to from the Netflix series. Hell's Kitchen is supposed to be basically Marvel's Gotham City. So it's supposed to be crime-ridden, just dirty, nasty, dark place. And it's kind of like they cleaned it up, and it's kind of nice, suburban area, very metro. And it was kind of a different feel. Not the same feel you'd expect to have from, Daredevil. But still, I don't think it hurt the show. My other critique I have, I'm afraid it is going to hurt the show. And how many people they have tune into it. That critique is, if you have not seen the Daredevil movie, if you haven't read the Daredevil comics, if you haven't seen the Netflix Daredevil show, you will not know what's going on. You will not understand this show. You will not understand these characters. My wife started watching it, and she was tuned out, I think, the first 5 minutes. She didn't know what was going on. She didn't know the characters. She didn't understand them. And it picks up running. And she was just lost. And I think that's going to be for a lot of just average audiences watching. They're going to be lost if they don't have the prior knowledge of at least a Netflix series. They're not going to know what's going on. They won't understand the story. They won't understand the characters. my wife, she even said once, she asked me, she said, why is he pretending to be blind? And I said, he's not pretending. I said, he's actually blind. Well, how's he doing all that other stuff? And I said, well, that's his thing. All his other senses are so heightened that he doesn't need his eyesight. And I said, they don't really explain it in the show, but I said he can kind of see like sonar. If he hits something with his clubs, he can kind of form an image of what's around him, and he can kind of feel what's there. So that would be my suggestion if you're going to watch this show with someone that doesn't have knowledge of these characters, is to really explain it to them. I would even say watch the Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck, so they kind of have an idea of who the character is. I would even say probably watch the Netflix show, at least the first season or so. Now, I've watched season 1 and 2, but I have not watched season 3. But I knew enough to know what was going on. But those are my only complaints. So with that being said, I'm going to get into spoilers, and I'm just kind of go off. I don't know how long I'm going to go on for, because there's a lot I could go on for about this. I could probably talk for 2 hours just about that first 5-10 minute clip that we got. So if you haven't watched it yet, if you don't want to be spoiled, hop off now. If you don't care, keep watching. Come back later, check out my thoughts on the spoilers, everything. So here we go. We kind of thought that Foggy was going to die. I thought it would be like the end of episode 1, maybe episode 2, but I figured probably episode 1, that would be the big climatic thing they do. Nah. First 5 minutes, dude is dead. We see Bullseye set a trap, shoots Foggy, kills Foggy. He's going to kill Karen too, and in comes Matt swinging in the suit. That's where we see Matt swinging off the buildings with his clubs. It was great. And he comes swinging in, and him and Bullseye have this big fight. Now, I didn't say anything about this fight in my first impressions on this video because I didn't want to go into spoilers. Chef's kiss to this fight. This was a fight that was so well choreographed. I haven't seen anything like this fight in a long time. This was very different. They used a wide shot lens. You see Daredevil, you see Bullseye fighting, but you also see everyone around, and you feel like you're a witness to this fight and everything that's going on around you. And the camera's just moving straight backwards. We got the hallway fight effect from the Netflix series that they did, but we also see that. And they did a great job of also incorporating Matt's powers, because while they're fighting, you're hearing everything that's going on around him. So you're hearing what Matt is hearing. As they're going up the stairs fighting, you're hearing Foggy breathing heavily. You're hearing the bleeding. You're hearing Karen screaming. You're hearing all of this that's going on. And then, of course, when they get to the roof, they continue the fight. You still hear everything. It's very visceral. It's raw. I was on the edge of my seat. My wife actually took videos of me reacting, and I'm like a little kid just rocking back and forth, like hands on my head, like that good. And then, of course, you hear through Matt's ears, you hear Foggy's last breath. You hear Karen freaking out. And that's when you see Matt just break. Throws Bullseye off the roof, slaps on the ground. You think he's dead. They did a phenomenal job with Karen's reaction. She doesn't know if it's Matt. She doesn't know if it's Bullseye that landed behind her. She just watched Foggy die. She can't turn around. She's afraid to see if it's Matt. I mean, she finally turns around and it's not. I mean, it was great. I mean, that first 15-minute scene was perfection. That's what we've been waiting 7 years for, to see with these street-level characters. After that, there wasn't any action until the end of episode 2. Really, there's a little bit with the White Tiger, but nothing really too much. So after that, then you see that Matt gave up being Daredevil because he tried to kill somebody. He tried to kill Bullseye. So it fast forwards, we see Bullseye's sentencing. Matt was on the stand for it. And then we kind of see the story devolve. Karen has moved to California. And we really see just things progress and then build the story. We see Fisk running for mayor, Matt really trying to figure out why he's running for mayor. The White Tiger case, we see him come up on a guy getting mugged, come to find out it was two cops off duty, but they didn't address themselves as cops. One ended up getting hit by the train because the White Tiger was trying to protect this guy and threw him in front of the train. So we see Matt go talk to him. Again, we hear Matt use his powers. We hear him listen to his heartbeat, that he's telling the truth. And so we see that story developing, that Matt's going to take this case. So then Matt has kind of been seeing this psychiatrist that his boss has kind of hooked him up with. We also see, I think it's Muse, that comes to see her at her book signing. We also see that she's giving therapy to and counseling to Fisk and his wife, because they're not in a very good place since he'd been in prison and gotten out. We see Matt not being Daredevil. Fisk wins the election. He becomes mayor. You can tell that it's really working on Matt that Fisk is mayor, that there's something hiding that he just hasn't seen. It's getting kind of dark out, I'm sorry. I don't have much sunlight left, but we're going to make it work. And then episode 2, we get kind of more of the story. We get more of Fisk, and you see that Fisk is kind of very ruthless when it comes to dealing with people. Oh, looks like my daughter's home. So we see that, and then we see the story progress. It really picks up at the end of episode 2. There were kind of some cameos, and let me get her car out of the way. We see that the cops kind of have the Punisher skull tattoos on them, which I think is going to be part of the story where Frank comes in, and I think he's going to take out these cops that have kind of taken the law into their own hands and are kind of doing their own thing, which, was kind of Frank's thing, not the cops' thing. They're supposed to be better than Frank. But we see Matt finds the witness that the police couldn't find and the lawyers couldn't find for the case. And when he goes, he tells him to go out the fire escape. And the cops end up beating up on Matt. And they're going to kill Matt, but Matt kills them again and kind of lets the devil back in. And you're kind of seeing him realize that he can't stop being Daredevil, that he's going to have to put the cowl back on, that he's going to have to pick up the mantle again to figure out this case, to see what all is going on. We know Fisk is going to be connected. We know at some point he finds Frank. I'm guessing Frank's going to get involved because of the tattoos, because of what they're using. Isn't what Frank believed in or what they should be doing. But the story, the writing, everything's just good. The acting's good. Like I said, the setting, I feel like Hell's Kitchen could be dirtier. It could be more crime-ridden, could be grimier. But they've kind of set up this cleaned up, better, kind of very modernized kind of Hell Kitchen. But you see people are asking where Daredevil is, that the city needs him. There were a shout out to Spider-Man and the Punisher as well. Fisk mentions both of them. I would love to see a MCU just street level project with Daredevil, Punisher, Spider-Man, all against Fisk. I would love that. Are we going to get it? I don't know. With Sony, we'll see how things play out, but maybe one day we'll see it. But yeah, I thought it was great. I can't wait to see more of it. We know there's going to be more action. We know that we're going to see Matt in the suit, maybe multiple suits. I don't know, but definitely can see that care was taken with this project. We know that Vincent and Charlie petitioned to change the story to what it is, that they had influence on the writing, on the story, and you can tell that they care and that this is a passion project, and I love that. I can't wait to see more. This is definitely my favorite thing to come out of the MCU, probably since Endgame. Story-wise, it has everything encompassing it: the action, the story, the acting. Everything is top tier, and I love it. I hope they keep that going for the rest of the series. I hope it doesn't nosedive. I just hope they keep going the way they're going, and I hope we get more projects like this. We know we're getting a Punisher one-off series, which I don't think he needs his own series. Just a special thing, I think, is great. I think they need to do more of that, but I like it. I love it. And like I said, the only thing I think that's going to hinder this show is if you don't have a prior knowledge of the characters or have seen the Netflix series. That's the only thing. I think maybe a way they could have solved that is maybe do like a previously on and done maybe a recap of what happened in the Netflix series, but I get it. It's kind of a reboot slash retelling, not really a reboot, but restart, I guess you could say. But I loved it. I thought it was great. I can't wait. I just can't wait to see more. I love this show. So let me know what you guys thought. Next time I'll try to be in a lighter spot to do a video. I thought the sun was going to last a little longer tonight, but it didn't. So, but yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your comments. Shoot them down. I would love to talk about this show. I would love to discuss this show. Like I said, I could go on for another hour about what I loved about this show, but it's getting dark and it's getting a little chilly out. So, but let me know what you thought in the comments. Like this video, share this video, watch my other videos, watch my other reviews. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I'll have those links in the description. I have some stuff with my family and stuff on there. I have Comic-Con, Planet Comic-Con is coming up in Kansas City here in a couple weeks. I'm working on a couple costumes there. I might share the progress on Facebook and Instagram. I haven't really decided if I'm going to do 2 costumes. I'm working on a Night Owl costume from Watchmen right now. I might try to finish out and make a Daredevil costume. Vincent D'Onofrio is going to be there. I think that would be cool to meet him and have a suit and have a picture with him. Also, Malin Ackerman and Carla Gugino from Watchmen, the Silk Spectres. That's why I'm doing the Night Owl cosplay. But I'm getting some fitting work done on that, and then I'll be doing some detailing work. So that was definitely a process, finding that costume and the cowl and everything for it. So I might do a video just on that costume. But I have that up on my Facebook and Instagram. If I have those will be on YouTube too when I get around to it. So I've got a lot of stuff coming down the pipe in the next couple weeks. I'll try to keep caught up on reviews. I may not get to them immediately when I say I'm going to. I do have a wife and kids and a family, and they are my main priority. I do love YouTube, and I do love talking about this stuff. It is my hobby and my passions, but I do got to put my family first, and that comes first. So when I get around to the videos, I get around to them. But let me know what you guys thought, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks a lot.